Hi, this is Monica. Welcome back to my channel. Like, comment, and subscribe. And today, I'm going to try to tell y'all some more of this story. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my skincare, get my shower, and all this other extra shit. Because I just cleaned up my house and whatever the fuck. I don't care. Okay, TikTok still got me banned, so I can't post videos. I can go live, but I can't post videos, so I said, what the hell? We're just going to go ahead and go on from the story. Now, keep in mind, he had already knew that my husband existed. He just didn't know what kind of friend my husband was. Now, keep in mind, we hadn't had a sneaky link. We hadn't done anything. We hadn't did anything. My husband was just in my ear. Okay, so he had came to the house one day and he said, I need to talk to you because your name is swinging around here and this is this, and you need to put a lid on that. You need to put a lid on that. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He was like, well, this girl that's coming to pick you up with this car with this loud ass music. He was like, I done figured it out. She gay. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, what business is that of yours? He was like, now keep in mind, he was still standing down there with Froghorn. So why was he paying attention to anything that was going on in my house? Now, when he said this, he was like, everybody in the neighborhood, like, I guess sarcastically, everybody in the neighborhood, they figured out that she gay, Monica, so you need to quit hanging around her. I said, well, I'm not going to quit hanging around her because she's my friend. And I said, why are they so worried about me? I said, all of a sudden they worried about me and I'm not worried about them. I said, I don't know what's going on. I said, because nobody said anything about you sleeping with everybody that was in the projects. Boy, was he heated about that. So me and him start going back and forth. He was like, just like I said, everybody saying that girl is gay. Me not paying him no attention, the attention that I'm not paying him. Okay, so apparently he was going back to Froghorn's house and the girl that used to live across the street, because now she got some apartments that she moved in across town. Because I guess she wanted to get out of that neighborhood because not only did she have one baby, but she was pregnant with the second. So she moved all the way up on these apartments across town. So when he had to see her, she had to actually come and get him and take him all the way to her house and then drop him back off down by Froghorn's house, not at Froghorn's house, because her and Froghorn still was going at it. Okay, but meanwhile, the neighborhood had been seeing, which is now my husband, pulling up, because my husband would go in front of the projects so that everybody could see the car, and then everybody would run and tell him or whatever the case would be. My husband's being an asshole, you know what I'm saying? But it was okay. Now what I'm getting ready to do now is I'm getting ready to use this Queen Helen's Mint Juke Mask, and I use this all the time. They stopped selling it at I used to get it at Family Dollar a lot, but they stopped selling it there, so I went and got it at Roses. But we're not talking about face masks, and we ain't talking about Roses. We're talking about the Narcissist. Okay, so he had seen her come pick me up one day. Now, all this time that she was coming to pick me up, we would always drive down the street behind my house and go to the main street, or not go to Main Street, but go to the street to get to wherever we was going. But this particular time, my husband had the windows rolled down, and everybody, him and all his friends, was standing in the front of the store. I will never forget this. They were standing in the front of the store. My husband pulled all the way back around and drove in front of the store with the music on loud. You know what I'm saying? Leaned back in the seat. And I'm on the passenger side, looking cute. Because keep in mind, now my husband's in my ear calling me beautiful every morning and stuff like this. He doesn't know this because it was none of his business. We weren't together. He was with Froghorn. You know what I'm saying? So why are you worried about me? So when we drove past the street, everybody froze and started looking at us like. My husband started laughing out the window and we pulled on down the street. Now keep in mind, this is where the car came. This is where they set my van on fire. Okay, so like maybe a couple of days later, I'm at home. Now keep in mind, I told you, his best friend, we're going to call her Code 45. Code 45, her mother stayed with her. Code 45, I guess they had put Code 45's mother up to come to my house to try to question me about my husband, about, you know, who my husband was, what was going on between me and my husband. So she came and she knocked on the door. When she came and she knocked on the door, Curtis was like, my mama is in her room. She'll be out in a minute. He didn't let her in. But Curtis was going back outside to play. So I came to the door. I was like, what's going on? Like that. She was like, girl, I ain't seen you in so long. Now keep in mind, she was friends with the narcissist because her daughter, who was supposedly the best friend, was messing around with the narcissist. But there's a plot twist to that one too. Wait till I tell y'all this about the mother. Okay, so they, she come over to the house. She questioning me. Oh, you doing good. I know you glad you left him alone. And I know you can't wait till you get a friend. I'm like, okay, I'm still not feeding into nothing because I ain't stupid. I know she only around there to find out what was going on. So we get further and further into the conversation. She brings up my husband. She like, who's that girl that everybody talking about that been coming to pick you up? Oh, I said, oh, that's my friend. I said, and that's how I'm gonna leave it. I said, I don't think that this conversation should go any further. I said, even though I know for sure he sent you around here. She swear down he did. I'm like, oh, okay, but we both know that he sent you around here. Now, I'm going to let this sit in my face and get dry or whatever the case may be. I'm going to continue to tell the story until it's time for me to get in the shower. So, when our conversation, me and her conversation was over, she went back and she told him exactly what I said. And she also told him that she had questioned me about my husband, but see, he didn't know anything about it because I never told her anything that she didn't need to know. So she goes back around the corner. Apparently, he was so mad. Now, this is where the burning up my van came in at. He was so mad, he went down to Froghorn's house and was complaining about my husband coming to pick me up and stuff like this. But meanwhile, he wasn't just complaining to her. He was complaining to the best friend, and he was complaining to the girl that had the baby that wasn't his, and the second time she was pregnant by him, supposedly, and this, that, and the third. He was saying something to her about Monica called herself moving on and da-da-da-da-da, and she messed with this gay girl, blah, 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 scoopy blah. I don't give a damn, why you my business? You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, by him doing this, that pisses these bitches off. So the bitch that was the supposedly best friend, this is what she done. When she came around to my house, I was not at home. I was gone with my best friend. We was doing something. I was coming directly back. But when we pulled up in the back, I seen black smoke in the back of my apartment. I'm thinking my damn apartment on fire or some shit like this. No, they just set my little van on fire. They didn't burn it all the way up, but it was burnt up enough where I had to get it crushed or whatever, sold it to the junkyard or whatever. Okay, so I pull up. My van is on fire and this. Now keep in mind, when this was going on, all of them were standing out there. Him, her, and a whole bunch of his other friends and stuff watching my van burn. Never called the fire department, nothing. I called the fire department when I got there. Okay, so the fire department put my van out or whatever the case may be. He comes to me, he was like, you know what, bad stuff gonna continue to happen to you because you're doing stuff that's wrong. How's you telling me what I done wrong and you done did all this? Okay, so remember I told you the girl's mother had came over to my house. Now, maybe a week after that, I had Curtis came around the house. He was like, mama. The best friend, he called her by her name. He said, the best friend and her mom is fighting in the street. I said, you lying. He was like, no, ma'am. He was like, no, they fight, mama. Come on. So I run around the front of my apartments down the street to the old apartments where I lived at, where I used to live at. When I get around there, this is what I see. I see the best friend of her mama and the girl that was pregnant and her mama, they all fight in the middle of the street because of the narcissist. Now, keep in mind, Froghorn, they caught wind of the girl and the best friend fighting, so she put it together that the narcissist is messing around with the best friend too. So she done walked around there. Now she done came around there with a stick in her hand. When she came around there with a stick in her hand, all you heard was, and she done hit both of them, both the mother, the best friend, the girl, and she's trying to run, but keep in mind, I told y'all she was like 45, 50. Now I'm 50. You know what I'm saying? But her back hurt all the time. She was leaned over like, you know. But anywho, she tried to get away. His friends them tried to cover for Froghorn because she was older. So they tried to stop everybody from trying to jump on her. Keep in mind, now I'm standing at the corner watching this. I'm not no closer to where nobody can see me. Now at the end of the day, he saw me watching this whole fight break out. He's not trying to break it up. He's not trying to, you know what I'm saying, diffuse the problem. He on one. He like doing what the fuck he want to do. So at this time, I'm like, I made it up in my mind, like, I got to move from up here. I got to get from this side of town completely. I don't need to be over here. So I made a phone call. I called my brother. Now, keep in mind, my brother is so low-key that he was like, Monica, he was like, come and get the key. Go over to my house and you can stay there. He's like, you can move into my basement even. So I started throwing away a lot of stuff like furniture, all this other stuff I started throwing away. Because I knew all I really needed was my bed, Curtis's bed, and this. But Curtis was sleeping upstairs in my brother's kids' room because my brother had custody of his boys. So I really wasn't worried about his bed. So I set the Clyde's basement up like an apartment. That was what I was thinking I was going to do. Okay, so I was getting ready to move. I can never forget this. I got ready to move. my uncle, who is deceased now, but my uncle came over there with his pickup truck. And I paid him, and he helped me move the stuff that I wanted to move. Now, keep in mind, nobody knew that I was moving at this time, except for me, my best friend, my husband, and a couple of people at my job. Because keep in mind, now let's talk about the people at my job, though. Now, the whole time, and I guess my husband they had been in my husband's ear, like, don't mess with Monica. She a bunch of trouble. She don't try to take you for your money. This, that, and this. And my husband never told me about this until we was way into our relationship. But yes, they was hating on me for no reason or whatever the case may be, because I guess they thought that because my husband had gave me some money for some food stamps, that I was using my husband for money, but I wasn't. It was really a true story. Okay, anywho. We'll talk about that, because then they ended up all in my face. Like, y'all belong together, wood, I say scoop. I don't give a damn. I still don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Anywho, we get ready to move. Curtis is already over my brother's house. We already got everything packed up on the truck. We get ready to pull it out. All of a sudden, I see this Delta 88 pull up in the driveway, blocking off where the truck is trying to get down at. Now, keep in mind, my uncle hadn't pulled off yet. My uncle was getting ready to go down the hill. But when my uncle got ready to get down the hill, the car blocked the truck off. Out pops the narcissist and his friends like, oh, hell no, you was just going to try to leave and da-da-da-da-da without saying nothing, this is this. Now, because they didn't know that that was my uncle in there, when they popped out the car, they didn't watch my uncle. My uncle, Phil, popped out the car with in his hand, and he shot 4 times in the air, pow, 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 pow. Got everybody's attention, talking about move the car, this and this, we get out of here. If you try to follow us, I'm going to call the police on you, and this and that third. So what he did was, he called his family over there, his male family, and the people that lived across the street from where my Uncle Phil stayed at the time. These boys came, these young men came over there, or whatever the case may be, and they watched us get out the thing and didn't let nobody leave out the parking lot until we was well on the other side of town, and then they left. Okay, so the word up there in the projects was that he was mad because the joke around there was he lost his woman to another woman. Now, that's not what they were saying. You know, they said the B word. But that's what they were saying. They was making a joke out of him. So he really caught himself hating me at this point. Now, keep in mind, my husband and him had already had their first altercation when my husband and her son came in and made me get in the car with them and leave because me and him had got into it. That was the first encounter. Now, the second encounter was she came and picked me up, and they was out by the back of the house. Remember, I told y'all that. Well, I don't know if you saw it on live that day, yesterday or whatever, but that's what happened with that. Now, keep in mind, I already moved to my brother's house. I had changed jobs and this. And my husband didn't let me use the extra car, so I got away back and forth to work, so I got a better job. But by me getting a better job, now keep in mind, that's what was going on then. Now, my husband ain't the type that digs into somebody else's life. My husband is like real laid back, quiet, cool, calm, collected, but don't give his food. This is an Aquarius, they'll kill you. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Anywho, so I have to get ready to tell y'all the part where they ran into each other at the nightclub. How they ran into each other at the nightclub, then they ran into each other again at the bar. But Monique and Bubba was there when they did this. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and get my shower. And if I feel like going ahead and making another part to this tonight, I will. But hopefully TikTok will take me off of TikTok jail and I won't be on here looking like Dr. Creep, because that's what this looks like. But anywho, like, comment, and subscribe. And I thank y'all for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.